Hi friends, it's Joel Richardson and this is The Underground. I'm going to forego the beginning of the show, the introduction, because I want to be very brief this week. I have a couple issues that I want to touch on. First of all, I want to talk about what is unfolding in Iran right now with the protests. Many people have been emailing and they just want to get a better understanding of what's unfolding there. What are the underground believers saying in Iran? How can we pray for them? How are we supposed to pray for Iran? What's going on in all of these things? I also want to talk about an opportunity, a trip that I have coming up, and I want to tell you all about this. This is an amazing opportunity. This could be one of the biggest opportunities. In fact, in the past several years, I have to be very careful because I can't really give you all of the information until after I get back, but I want to inform everyone of that. And lastly, I just simply want to thank everyone. I know most people sort of end their year with a year-end thank you, but I want to begin 2018 by looking back and just thanking all of those of you that have been prayer and financial supporters and subscribers. Thank you so much. This past year it's been very difficult. There's just been a lot of transition and just a lot of challenges. Satan is constantly throwing difficulties our way. We're not surprised. This is what we expect, but it doesn't make it less difficult. So for all of those of you who have been praying, who have been sowing into the ministry, thank you so much. Now listen, if you have not gone to my website, joelstrumpet.com, and signed up to receive the newsletter, please do that. And if you're part of the newsletter, but you have not signed up to subscribe to my YouTube program, The Underground, then go to YouTube and subscribe there as well, because if you sign up on the website, then you'll get email updates. Now, for clarity, I only send these out like every other month, if that. I won't fill your inbox with all sorts of emails, but there's times that I can't say things publicly, and so I sort of just reserve that for more of those who sign up for the email blasts. And likewise, if you're part of the email blasts, sign up for the YouTube channel, because with that, I try to give updates close to once a week, every other week, and I'm wrestling to try to be a bit more faithful and consistent with that, to do regular teachings and just news, prophetic updates, and ministry updates, and this sort of thing. So any of those things, thank you so much. And again, there's much more on the website that you can look into if you want to partner with any of the partner ministries that we're connected with, working in Israel, in Syria, working in Iran, the Middle East, working in the Balkans and Albania, and really all over the world. We are partnered with some world-class ministries. You can go down about the third block on my ministry site. You've got a block that says Partner Ministries, and you can click through those. We'll take you directly to those ministries. And these are all ministries that I highly encourage people to partner with, support, and get connected with. And in doing that, you really are storing up for yourselves treasures in heaven. So first of all, let's just jump right in. What in the world is going on in Iran? Now, as I said, I want to be very brief, because I'm actually going to send this program out with the email update. I know a lot of folks are just, they want to get the snapshot version. They don't want a big teaching. Listen, in brief, there is what began as protests right now at the time of this recording, a little over a week ago. It began as protests in the city of Mashhad over the price of eggs. Now, Mashhad it's considered Shiite Islam's second holiest city. It's sort of right there on the coast by Afghanistan. This is where there are shrines to Imam Reza. We actually talked about this in last week's Underground, and so a lot of people go there as part of a pilgrimage and so forth. The protests began there. This is significant because it was in a very religious city. Now, it began over the price of eggs. They shot up over 40% just overnight. And essentially, just to summarize, why did the people begin protesting? The religious leaders in Iran are filthy rich. The religious class are filthy rich. The people are dirt poor. Okay, because of the sanctions, because of a lot of different reasons, because of the way the government handles money, the majority of the people they struggle significantly. If, however, they are part of the religious class, which means they're connected to the government, they often do quite well. The north of Tehran is incredibly wealthy. A lot of people don't realize this. Iran imports like an untold number of sports cars, luxury items, and a lot of the children of these religious leaders, they live like the kids of Beverly Hills, you know, spoiled, rich, etc. And so there's a lot of angst and so forth economically in the country. Now, these riots, these protests began economically. They've exploded into something much, much bigger. Now, how is this different than the Green Movement or the Green Revolution of 2009? The Green Revolution was largely a middle-class movement, and of course the government cracked down significantly to where a lot of people were killed. There was zero support from the outside. And this is not just to purely pick on previous administrations, but there was zero support. Remember, the Obama administration, it was a week later, 8 days later, until he finally made any public statements. During the Green Revolution, this was a tremendous opportunity to overthrow the regime. And it was early on in Obama's administration, and he basically did nothing. And when he did finally speak out, it was very, tepid support for freedom of speech and this sort of thing. But really, it was pretty clear the message was sent that he was not going to actively get involved. And the cry, the chants, by the way, coming during the Green Revolution was they were crying. They were saying, Obama, Obama. After about 4 or 5 days, this became the regular chant. Obama, Obama, are you for the regime or are you with us? Are you with the regime or are you with us? And the people of Iran were crying out. They were saying, where's the United States going to stand? And the answer, of course, was given with Obama's silence. Again, he eventually spoke out very moderate, lukewarm support. But his ultimate answer, who was he with, the regime or the people, became clear when he literally flew in pallets of cash and gave it to the regime, again, billions of dollars, which was then used against the people. This was one of the greatest lost opportunities, I think, in terms of American foreign policy in recent history than we can imagine. President Trump, on the other hand, has been very, very clear in terms of where he stands. Now listen, as with all of these things, there is always a tremendous amount going on behind the scenes. In other words, it's much more than just over the price of eggs. People have been burning seminaries, attacking mosques. They are adamantly opposed to the current religious regime, the current religious administration, if you will. Listen, the mosques in Iran are empty. The majority of the people in Iran are not really religious in terms of given to radical 12er Islamic Shia Islam. They believe in God often, but they've lost faith in the organized religion. They believe in God, but maybe not necessarily Islam. Many of them are essentially agnostic. This is why Iran has the fastest growing church in the world. The people are hungry for God, but they are not hungry for Islam. And so the opportunity is tremendous right now. Now listen, several weeks ago, a couple months ago, I was informed from some pretty high levels, and obviously I can't give all the information there, that there is a plan, there has been a plan underway with the Trump administration, with the Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, which is essentially the son of the former Shah of Iran, to partner with the United States as well as several regional governments. Obviously, Saudi Arabia, Israel would have a part in this, including other nations that I won't mention, to overthrow the current regime, the mullahocracy, the mullahocracy, the mullah dictatorship, Ayatollah Khamenei, and the government that has been nothing short of a religious dictatorship. So I got the information that there is a plan, again, partnership with the United States, with the son of the Shah, to overthrow the current regime. When I heard this, I was dubious, skeptical. I go, I don't see the Shah stepping back in, maybe someone from within the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, but I didn't see an outside party stepping in. Now, a week later, as I see this, I've seen the statements made by the Crown Prince, Reza Pahlavi. It appears that this plan is underway. Now, I'm doubtful that it will be successful, but if it is, this will be the greatest regional shakeup since the Arab Spring. I mean, in terms of the overthrow of multiple Arab autocracies, dictatorships, this would be absolutely huge. So here's the point. How can we be praying for the believers? I've been talking to our friends inside the country. They're scared. You know, this is a civil war. This is a big issue. They're asking for our prayers. They're asking for wisdom and strategy in terms of how they can go out on the streets and witness in the midst of all that's unfolding. With social upheaval, there's always great opportunity. And they're asking for prayers for protection and wisdom and protection and divine guidance. But there's a resolve there. They know they're there. They're part of history. God has them. The Lord has them there for a purpose for this time. And they want to make a tremendous impact. So pray for their safety, pray for wisdom, pray for divine fruit to come out of this season. And of course, pray for minimal bloodshed. Right now, as we're recording this, I'm recording this on January 3rd. Then this will probably go live on the 4th or 5th. To date, there have been roughly 20-25 deaths. When the Iranian Revolutionary Guard go out, if they really crack down, we could see a lot of bloodshed. And this will really be the barometer, the determinant to see how efficacious these protests really are. Is it going to become something that will overthrow the government? Do the people have the resolve, or will the Iranian Revolutionary Guard squelch the whole thing? And that could very easily happen. So pray, 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 friends. This is the winds of change are blowing. I can feel it in the air. This is a moment of opportunity we need to pay attention to. Okay, now I want to shift to this issue that I mentioned with regard to this opportunity that I have that's just presented itself before me. Now let me just say I've been praying for this opportunity for probably the past 5 years. This is something that I think the Lord has laid on my heart. It's just been a dream that I think the Lord has placed in my heart. And the opportunity has presented itself. It's incredibly last minute, but I have the opportunity to go into a very restricted country. Now, I have to be so careful when I talk about these things publicly, because obviously I can't give all the information, especially before I go. And even afterwards, oftentimes I'm very limited in what I can share. There's just a tremendous amount of security issues involved. So I'm just going to say you all sort of put 2 and 2 together. Some of you will be able to figure it out. I just don't want to give too much information out. But I have the opportunity to go into an incredibly restricted nation with some excellent folks inside to help navigate where we need to go and what we are wanting to see and accomplish. But I have the opportunity. This is not primarily ministry in terms of ministering to the underground church, although we won't talk about that. The primary issue here is the ability to visit some archaeological sites, which some have been explored. Some, we've seen pictures of some of them, but there are some discoveries, recent discoveries, which have never been made public. Some incredible archaeological discoveries that truly validate the Bible itself, the testimony of the Word of God, in a way that's really incredible. I can't give away too much more information than that, other than to say, if this all goes well, we will have information to present over the next several weeks, and this could be really, really big. But there's just so many variables. There's so many variables. This could be one of the big reasons I think that the Lord has led me into getting into making documentaries and learning the craft of photography and filmmaking and so forth the past few years. This could actually be one of the biggest opportunities, one of the biggest stories, if you will, of my ministry thus far that we've been involved in over the past few decades. So big opportunity. Again, I can't give you a tremendous amount of information, but here's the thing. In order to do this, it's very last minute. I've got about $5,000 that I need to raise pretty last minute. Now again, as always, folks, my appreciation for those that do give, especially I've got a handful of really committed, faithful supporters, of which I'm just so truly grateful. And I hate putting out the request, but yet I've come to the place where I know it's biblical. This really is the apostolic model. You appeal to the body. If it comes in, praise God. If it doesn't, then I hate to say it, I've got credit card faith. I'll put it on the credit card and trust that the Lord will eventually bring it in. But basically, myself and assistant, I won't give numbers, but basically we've got about $1,000 for visa applications, probably about $3,000 for tickets, and then probably another $1,000 or so for spending money, hotels, transportation, everything while we are there, and a few little pieces of equipment that I had to pick up. Basically, right around $5,000. Let's put it that way. I just want to present this to you. If the Lord should lead you to support this effort, again, we'll have more information down the road. It's difficult to say, hey, I've got a secret mission. Can you help? But I think there's a bit of a bond of trust between those who have been following me for some time. You know that I'll give you the updates, and that obviously we're faithful with the donations and so forth. So if you do want to do that, let me just say this. And of course, if you want to become a regular partner, you go to my website. I'm going to put up a little video as we're doing this. You go to my website, you go to joelstrumpet.com, and as you go to the website, you go up to Partner. You click on Partner, and that will take you to the Partner page. Now listen, there are a few different ways to give, and this is important because I know folks are in a hurry, they don't want to read. If you click on the Donate button, which is the PayPal Donate button, this is if you want to give an instant donation, if you live in another country, or you're not at all interested in the tax deduction, then you can do it that way. It's just an instant deduction, goes right into my PayPal account. On the other hand, if you want to become a regular supporter, or if the tax deduction is very important to you, and it's important to me that you get it, then you click on Joel Richardson Ministries, which will take you to this page here, and then you can give this way. You just simply make an account, and you can do it so it's a one-time or it's a regular monthly recurring gift, and you can put in a custom amount or do it however you want. But that way, at the end of the year, through I² Ministries, which is the fourth ministry that I'm partnered with, you'll get all of the records for your taxes and so forth. So I just want you to know there's two different ways to give. You can also, if you don't like doing anything electronically, you can simply send a check to our P.O. Box. And when we do it that way, make it out to Joel Richardson Ministries, and you will, again, get the information for taxes and so forth at the end of the year. Actually, it's the beginning of the next year. So with that said, I can't give any more information out, but this is huge, and beyond just asking for help in covering the costs, because again, this is just, it came up last minute. We don't have anything in the ministry budget for this. It's really last minute. But if you're not able to give, that's fine. Please pray. Please do pray. As I said, there are so many moving parts, so many variables here, and it's something that could happen rather quickly, and there's just a lot of possibilities here. So please pray for me and my traveling, my assistant, and different folks that we'll be with. Pray for divine, that we would be invisible to the authorities, that we would be able to accomplish everything that the Lord wants us to accomplish, that we wouldn't have our equipment confiscated, we wouldn't have our, all of these kind of things. This is an awesome opportunity, I think, for the gospel to break out into the Arab world as people see the fact that the Bible is amazingly true, that it is true, that it is historically true. Archaeology is not my thing, obviously, but archaeology is a tremendous tool in the hands of the Lord. So listen, friends, that's all the time that we have for this week. As I said, I wanted to try to be as brief as possible. I want to thank you so much for all of your prayers and your support. I get a lot of criticism, but I get a lot of emails and notes of encouragement, and it really means the world to me. I really appreciate your encouragement. So again, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you, if not next week, to see you soon with some updates. Until then, I'm Joel Richardson.